Well, this is new. Seem to be alone. I'm never alone. No, I'm wrong. I'm not alone. How do I know that? No, there's somebody out there. Yes, I feel you now. Fascinating. Something new. What to do? Well, trust your instincts. When confronted with something new, take a deep breath and settle into it. All right, here I am. What do I know? Memories. Ah, memories. Some shared memories. Yes, indeed. Sterling. I know, that's a code name. Warwickshire. Warwickshire. Ah, sweet Warwickshire. That, pardon me, that means something. I don't know what it is. Yes, I do. It's love. It's love. It's a shared experience. It's, I hear birds now. It's out in nature. It's, my goodness. It's important. It's the beginning. It's innocence. The innocence of a child. The innocence of the innocence of a village idiot. I can do anything. I have no rules. I have no bounds. I'm just here. Welcome, whoever you are out there. You're welcome to send messages and share messages. Talk among yourselves, please. I'll just work out what's going on here and bring you along. No, wait, there's more. All right, we'll just share as it comes. From village idiot to nobleman of the Queen's Court, John Harrington. Oh, that didn't last long. All right, start from the bottom. Beg your way along. Just nothing. Got nothing. Be open to receiving what comes. Live life on the earth. In the earth. In the earth. Use the earth. This may mean nothing to many of you out there, but it might mean something to many of you out there. It's all a play, you know. We're all just making it up as we go along and living with the consequences. And sorry if I spout. I'm just, it's all theater. It's theater in the ground. It's a muddy life. Yes, it is. From earth we come, to earth we shall return. And apparently I've returned to the earth quite a bit in my life. Yes, memories come back. Share, you probably have some too. Apparently you're here for a reason. So, well, let's celebrate here, being together for a reason. And, yes, think about stories you've shared. Starting right at the very beginning, at Beowulf. That's the oldest story in the English language, I believe. And, so it must be widely shared. Anybody out there share any experiences, memories of Beowulf? Beowulf in the mud? I know, just keep names. Scratch. Spivey Bird Ranch. Crazy Katie. Memories? Chunky, Krusty, Jim. Yeah. Sometimes life is hell. Dante went through that. Dante's Inferno, that's another shared touch point, I believe. Yes. And there's a whole presence in my life, apparently, about Nordic lands, and Vikings, whatnot. Right. Well, fascinating. And there's this. Right. Oh. Oh, this is making sense now. Hello, I'm Dr. Cranius Lunch. Yes, that's who I am. Dr. Cranius Lunch welcoming all of you, wherever you are. Where are you from? Started out. Where have you seen me before? I know you have. Some of you. Some of you have no idea what's going on. I'm sure. There's just like a moment ago, I had no idea what was going on. But we're all going to improvise our way along here, and that generally means fun. If you just say yes, and here we are. Come on in. Join me. Welcome. Yes. Yes, a message. If you don't know what's going on, or you would like to, with me, you can go to a site, a place, and find images in sequence that will tell stories that I'm a part of, and they're on sale right now for $10. There's a bit of information for you. This place we are here, whatever this is a presentation, a shared space for our memories, our minds, our imaginations to play and to create and to enjoy. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome there's so many of you. My goodness, there's a cascade happening now. I feel it. There's just, we are many. We are multitudes. We are here together in this digital environment. This, as a fictional character, things just come to me. This is a digital Ren Fair. How's that? We are now in the midst of a digital Ren Fair. Welcome, welcome, hear ye, hear ye. What ho! Cheers! Nice mug. Goodly woods. They didn't pay for that spot or anything. It's a good mug. Yes, a digital Ren Fair. Welcoming people from everywhere and all times without any prior organization. It all just happens right here or in the future. And I'm not going to try to process all of this information. It's far too much for me to comprehend. But I have a role here as your host. Welcome. I am Dr. Cranius Lunch. I'll repeat that several times because apparently some of you just had other things to do and are running a little late, and that's fine. We all have lives, and apparently in this environment it doesn't really matter. You can just simply go back and watch it all again at your own pleasure. The Digital Ren Fair has been going on now for only a brief time. It's a response to new realities, the way we all respond to new realities, as I am here. Cheers. And it's a coming together, a gathering. And there's going to be music. We will share music today. Musical madness. Indeed. I'll present much of the madness, and I'll let real musicians handle most of the real music, and we'll play together, and it'll be fun. I'm sure. I have no idea what's ahead, but I believe. This is confidence from many, many years of placing myself in new places, new environments, and simply believing. Frankly, I will just cut right to the chase. It's about love. It is. It's about love. We're sharing love right now. Crazy Katie once told me, love your audience and know that they will love you back. So that's where we are right now. Love you folks. Thanks for coming to this Digital Ren Fair where we have guests. One of the guests is going to be Vince Conaway, who plays the hammered dulcimer and plays the hammered dulcimer all over the place. He's been throughout the Americas, throughout Europe, played the lanes in many of these festivals that you have attended. You probably know Vince, many of you, and are looking forward to hearing what he presents today. We have the Reelin Rogues. Now, there's an evocative term, evocative name. I'm sure you get an impression of just what you're going to get when you see them and hear them, and it will contain energy. I will guarantee you that. The Reelin Rogues and, dear Lady Prudence. Sweet Lady Prudence. You know, Lady Prudence learned to sing when her governess needed a strategy to countermand the caterwauling. that she produced when her long hair was brushed. So channel your difficulties and pain into joy and song, like Lady Prudence has done in her life, and you will do well. So those are our guests, and I am your host, and the Digital Ren Fair is our context, and all of this doesn't just happen. Nothing, well, some things do just happen, and I'm afraid we have to deal with it, but this is a construct, and constructs take energy. So you can share your energy virtually through a variety of portals and links and strategies, including simple donations and long-term patronage through a means called Patronage. It's brand new, Patreon, like patronage, but Patreon, where you can become a patron of the arts. And you don't have to be a Medici or a Sforza or any. You don't need to be rich. Just a few little contributions every month. Not even very often. Not even every day, every week. No, just bing, and you are building the life of an artist, or the life of a group of artists, as this construct contains, from all over the world, all over the country, and with all manner of skills. So, check out the Patreon avenue of support, please. And also, we have the support of sponsorship. Misty Bernard is the genius behind Sea Song Designs. She works with pearls, she knots them together in strings herself. She works with a variety of other materials like copper and silk, and just presents beautiful, wonderful, wonderful things. So please, if you want to buy something for a dear friend, or to really treat yourself to something really wonderful, visit Missy at Sea Song Designs, and you will not be disappointed. All right. Well, I'm sure there's more that must be said, but there's also much that must be done. So, welcome all of you from everywhere, from all parts of my life. Oh wait, this time, just a little bit more for those of you who are coming in late. I'm Dr. Cranius Lunch, but I have not always been Dr. Cranius Lunch. No, many lives have come before this one, including Jack the Village Idiot at Sterling. Press those likes, send those hearts back to that space. Places like Pennsylvania, New York, Texas. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? That'll resonate with a few of you. Yes, many years in the mud at Scarborough. Yes, and Ohio, my recent playground for 30 years now. So all of you from Ohio, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming, and please stick around for Vince Conaway, the Reelin Rogues, Lady Prudence, and there will be more of me, and it will surprise you, I think. Many of you, it will surprise me, because at this point in the sequence of events, I have no idea what I'm going to come up with. I'll just take what comes and move along with it, and we'll see what happens, and we'll celebrate together. So, without any further ado, let's just move right on into our first musical presentation, Vince Conaway playing the hammered dulcimer. Enjoy. I'll be back. Cheers.
Good day, my friends. I am Vince Conaway. It is my pleasure to be bringing you some music this fine day. Many thanks to my friends here at the Digital Ren Fair for having me. enjoy the show, please feel free to drop something in my tip jar. You can find the links to my Venmo, PayPal, and my Patreon subscriptions at my website, vinceconaway.com. But of course, as always, I do appreciate just your attention. Off with a tune I wrote many years ago. Call that tune Labyrinth. As I said, I wrote it many years ago. And I still use it today as a little bit of a talisman. It is a song that I still love after many years. And I find that it's an excellent warm-up for me. It gets my head into the instrument, it gets my hands warmed up. And I have a confession to make. After over 20 years as a performer, I still get a little bit of stage fright, and that song is my personal ritual. That once I've played that song, no matter where I am, no matter what venue I'm in, I've played Labyrinth, now I'm ready to go. The first song is for me, the rest of the show is for you. So we may be digital, but we are still a Ren Fair. So I'm going to play one of the greatest hits of the 16th century. This is by the very important composer Vincenzo Galilei. Among other things, he helped to invent opera, although personally I have forgiven him for it. But he's mainly forgotten today because his kid was Galileo. And Daddy the musician was forgotten when his kid invented science. Now, Vincenzo Galilei was a lute player, and this is originally a 16th century Italian dance written for lute. I've modified it a little bit to make the dulcimer work better. It's called a saltarello. Vincenzo Galilei's music, and it has been a great pleasure and honor of mine that in my travels, in addition to performing at Renaissance festivals and medieval events, I have the pleasure of doing fairly frequent tours abroad, where I play as a street performer, I play as a busker. And I've had the honor and the pleasure of playing that song, the Saltarello by Vincenzo Galilei, on the front porch of Vincenzo Galilei's house in Pisa. At least I had the opportunity to play there until the people who live there now came out on the balcony and go, "Ah!" And it technically wasn't a legal place to play, so I moved myself along. But I can still say that I've done it. However, Vincenzo Galilei is not my favorite composer. He's top 5, but he's not my favorite. This next tune is by my favorite composer of all time, the early 16th century, Francesco Canova da Milano. He was such a brilliant player of the lute, they called him the Divine One. He was known as Il Divino in his own time, and I can only imagine how that might go to your head. Musicologically speaking, Canova is not quite as important as Galilei. However, he is a figure who helped popularize instrumental music as an independent art form. Prior to the 16th century, instrumental music was usually either just simple dance music or a vocal tune played on an instrument. And while he didn't invent the forms, Francesco Canova helped popularize the idea that instrumental music could be its own independent art form. And one of the ways he did this was through his use of the fantasia form. It's not pronounced fantasia, no matter what Disney might tell you. But the fantasia just means a fantasy. It means you can do whatever sounds fun, whatever sounds pretty, whatever strikes your mood. There are no rules. Which makes his music really fun to play. This is Fantasia number 34. Love his music. Now I'm going to step back in time a little bit. This is from the 13th century. This is a Cantiga Santa Maria, one of over 400 hymns to Saint Mary. They were written to accompany pilgrims, for pilgrims to sing as they walked the Camino de Santiago to the shrine at Santiago de Compostela. We don't know who wrote them. Like a lot of medieval music, they are anonymous, but they are usually credited to the person who paid for them, Alfonso X of Galicia, who was known in his time as El Sabio, the wise one. Personally, I think it's because he paid the band. My Venmo, PayPal, and Patreon are on my website. This particular cantiga very personal story to it. I was playing this song on the streets of Reggio di Calabria in southern Italy. If you look at your map of Italy, it's here. So I'm playing this song in Reggio, and a woman comes up to me. She starts singing along in 13th century Galician dialect, Latin-inflected Spanish. And it makes my day. And we finish the song, and I say, that was amazing, that was brilliant, that was incredible. And she looks at me and she says, it's no big deal. My husband teaches medieval music here at the university. So 4 months later, I'm performing at a Renaissance festival back in the States. And there's a woman on the cast who speaks Italian, so we're chatting back and forth because it's not a skill I get to practice very often. And eventually I say, how do you speak such beautiful Italian? And she says to me, oh, my parents are immigrants, we're from Italy. I've been all over Italy, where are you from? And she says to me, oh, we're from the south, we're from Calabria. And I said, really? I just had a very good time in Reggio. And she says, oh, my uncle teaches medieval music at the university there. It's a small world. This is Cantiga de Santa Maria number 166, also known as Como Pode. Those of you who don't know, or even those who do, the instrument I have here is known as a hammered dulcimer, at least in English. You do find them all over the world. So, for example, in the Middle East, it's called a santuri. In Spanish, it's called a salterio. And in German, it's a Hochbrett, because German. They go back at least 900 years ago. It's probably older, but that's what we can prove. Now, the dulcimer was not my first instrument. It was probably along the lines of 5th or 6th. I started off with piano lessons when I was a child. Had a lot of screaming arguments with my mother about whether I was going to practice. And Mom's Italian, so when I say screaming arguments, I literally mean screaming arguments. However, I am very grateful today for the fact that she won those arguments. And I had enough of a background in piano that later I was able to teach myself other instruments. Including the mandolin. Now, when I was in college, I walked into a music store. It was a guitar store, really. And they had a Neapolitan Bolvac mandolin hanging on the wall. And it was obvious they didn't know what to do with it. No one was buying because it had a price tag that said $650 crossed out. $500 crossed out, $425 crossed out, $350 crossed out, $200 crossed out, $125. Of course, I'm a college student. I don't have $125. But my mother has supported my musical endeavors throughout my life, and I called Mom. I said, Mom, there's this beautiful mandolin for sale. I would like to buy it. Would you loan me the money? She said, you know what? I'll give you the money as long as you meet the condition of learning an Italian song. And I said, it's a deal. And I promptly learned the tarantella napoletana, spent the next 15 years playing Irish music. It is my pleasure today to have an arrangement of the tarantella napoletana that I'm really proud of and really pleased with. It will be on my latest album, my newest album, as soon as it is officially released, which will be when we have shows again. However, it is currently available in digital form to my patrons, so feel free to check out my Patreon for details. This is La Tarantella Napoletana, probably the most famous Italian folk song in the Italian-American repertoire. So that one's for Mama. And all the old men I meet on the streets of Naples who say, why don't you play something Italian? And I say, I just played 6 tunes from the 1500s by Italian composers. And they said, no, that's not what we mean. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this one. So as I mentioned, I've been playing Irish music for quite a few years now. Somewhere north of 20, I try not to count because it gets a little weird. And this is one of the very first songs I learned, first on mandolin, later on the dulcimer. And after over 20 years, it's gotten a little dull, I have to say. I still love the song, but it doesn't have the jump and the verve that it once did. So I have a very bad habit of rushing it. I play it a little too fast, so I get teased by my colleagues and my friends a little bit. However, I'm a smart aleck. So I decided, after getting teased about my tempo, I was going to come up with a very slow version of it, and then ornament it so much that you couldn't tell I was playing slower. As I said, after 20 years, it sounds like... So I decided to knock it back a pace, basically to half tempo. As you may have noticed, I tend to specialize in early music, Renaissance music, medieval music, plus some original music, some traditional music. Which means I get asked fairly frequently, do you play anything modern? My answer is yes, I do play modern music. modern music is anything after 1750. Now, my friends, I'm afraid we've come to the sad part of the show where I announce the last tune. Unless you're a patron of either myself or of the Digital Ren Fair, there will be a little bit of extra for our patrons. Also, if you've enjoyed the show, please feel free to drop something in my virtual tip jar. PayPal and Venmo links are on my website, vinceconaway.com. And I'm going to finish up with another original tune. Now, I call this one February, and one day I was playing it on the streets of Naples. And a cop walks up and stands right next to my dulcimer. As a busker, as a street musician, I have a fraught relationship with law enforcement. But in Italy, you're not in big trouble. They just tell you, no, go away. However, they're usually polite and wait for a break in the song before they do it. They don't interrupt you, even. So I'm not going to give him a break. I'm just going to play. Don't make eye contact. Just keep playing. And the cop is right there. And I'm just keep playing, and the cop is right there. And eventually, I reach a point when the song is over. If I'm honest with myself, it's been over for about 2.5 minutes. I've been repeating myself. Finally, I say, okay, and I finish with a flourish, and mentally I think, well, Naples, I guess it's been fun, but it's time to move on. And I finish the song, and the cop looks at me and goes, bravo! And he walks down the street. And it was a totally wasted panic attack. This is February. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Digital Renaissance Fair. Thank you very much for coming out to our festivals, for joining us in person again someday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope you can find yourself happy. I'm Vince Conaway. It's been my pleasure. Enjoy your day.
Ah, bravo. Thank you, Vince. Now, if you out there enjoyed the artistry you just witnessed, please pitch Vince a tip through one of the portals provided, or join his Patreon and become an ongoing supporter of his endeavors. If you've seen it, you know that in my show, The Wyld Men, we use the magic of drama to transcend time and distance. And I really appreciate the way Vince does much the same thing with his music. Take the tune Saltarello he played early on. Did you know that tune was written by the father of Galileo? You know, the telescope fellow. Rocks and feathers from the Tower of Pisa. The heliocentric universe. The list goes on and on. Into the sphere of music, in fact. Vince let me in on a bit of trivia that got the old gears turning. In part, no doubt, due to the musical environs in which he was raised, it was Galileo himself who first defined the relationship between the tension on a string and its tone. Well, when he let me in on this little nugget, the name Saltarello is still rattling around in the old cranium. Saltarello, an athletic dance involving much leaping, from the Latin saltare, meaning to leap or jump or even to explode, which is what my imagination began to do almost immediately. Kangaroos, no. Frogs, rabbits, no. Grasshoppers, not quite right. Leaping lizards. Actually, I do not think that lizards leap, per se. No, something more majestic. The blue marlin, the mighty fish cresting the waves at the end of the line, the taut line. No, I really do not think there's any way to actually tune a fish. No, something more in the line of human endeavor, perhaps. The high jump. No. The triple jump. No. The ski jump. Ski jump. That's it! From my travels as a lad in Nordic lands, I happen to have a perfect specimen at hand. Next, for a little tinkering in my shop. Let's see. Well, this looks like a likely spot. Yes. Oh, I suppose many of you out there are wondering just what it is I'm up to. Well, let me demonstrate. First, we put a little tension on the string. And we demonstrate the relationship between tension and tone. Hey, It's a kick bass. Sorry, I suppose you really must be both a Nordic skier and a drummer for that one to resonate. Anyway, I think I've got one more little corner to turn here. Yes, to neatly cap my tribute to the Galileis Pater et Filius, I'd like to propose what I believe will be the world's first duet of Nordic kick bass and hammered dulcimer. And to do that, I'd like to conjure up the lilting tones of Vince Conaway playing Saltarello from the recent past. Now, I have to warn you, this thing has no frame of reference. It'll take me a little while to find the groove. The mathematics involved would challenge Galileo himself, I believe. Anyway, hit it, Vince! Me and Vince here. We'll have a little jam session while we move on to the next segment.
Friends, thank you so very much from the bottom of our hearts for being our wonderful patrons on Patreon at Digital Ren Fair. Specifically, our patron and royal family tiers. We just really appreciate you. You guys have been instrumental in really helping Digital Ren Fair to grow and to thrive. Thank you.
And now we have a little song for you. Here we go.
Michael wrote it.
Thank you, Amy Sweezy. Thank you, Angela Mills, Anisa Cantillo, and thank you to Argus Wolf,
Arnold Smith and Kristen Italiano, Christina Doucet and Christopher Thompson,
Donald Jones and Eddie Kristen, Aaron Caleby and Hannah New Brown. And don't forget,
Ain't got like
jazz hands. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, you're back. Good, good. Vince had to go. The mist was settling. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little adventure of the mind, or whatever it was. Maybe you learned something. Who knows? Yes, I'm Dr. Cranius Lunch of the Wyld Men back again, and here to introduce our next musical guests, the Reelin Rogues. Enjoy.
Carol, your face and Prudence, or the old distressed attack that William found your place and drove you to the fair. Grace and victory was yours, soon the fire ran insecure, till he met at Glenmalure with Vic McHugh O'Byrne. Kirsten's fair, Lord Kildare, Vic will do what Vic will dare. Now fit William, have a care, fallen is your Sturlow. Up with halberd, out with sword, on we go for by the Lord. Vic McHugh has given his word, follow me up to Carlow, aye! See the swords of Glenamail, the fashion or the English vale. See all the children of the Gael, neath O'Byrne's banner. Booster of a fighting stock, would you let a Saxon cock blow out upon an Irish rock? Up and teach you manners. Kirsten's fair, Lord Kildare, Vic will do what Vic will dare. Now until you have a care, falling is just Sturlow. Up with halberd, out with sword, on we go for by the Lord. Vic McHugh has given his word, follow me up to Carlow, aye! dagger to Clonmore, there flows a stream of Saxon gore. Great to Rory Ogamore, it's sending moons to Hades. White is sick, his brothers fled. Now for Black Fitzwilliam's head, we'll send it over dripping red to Liza and her ladies. Person's fair, Lord Kildare, Fick will do a Fick will there. Now Fitzwilliam have a care, falling is his Carlo. Up with Albert, out with sword, on we go for by the Lord. Jack McHugh has given his word, follow me up to Carlo. Person's fair, Lord Kildare, Fick will do a Fick will there. Now Fitzwilliam have a care, falling is his Carlo. Up with Albert, out with sword, on we go for by the Lord. Jack McHugh has given his word, follow me up to Carlo. In the merry month of June, when first her home was started, left the girls at home so sad and broken-hearted, saluted father dear, kissed me darling mother and drank a pint of beer. Grief and tears to smother, then off they reap their corn. Leave where I was born, got the stout black thorn to banish ghosts and goblins, fought the better brooks, rattled o'er the bugs, frightened all the dogs on the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macphail-Aldida. Oh well, in Mullingar that night I rested limbs, so we restored to by daylight. The spirits bright and early took a drop of the pure, gave me off them sinking, that's a Betty's cure. Ever be on for drink and see the lassie smile, laughing all the while at the curious style to set your heart a bubbling. Asked me was I heard wages I required. I was nearly tired of the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macphail-Aldida. Well, in Dublin next arrive, I thought it'd be a pity to be so soon deprived of view of that fine city. So then I took a stroll up among the quality bundle. It was full in a neat locality. Something crossed me mind when I looked behind. No bundle could I find upon me. Stick go wobbling, inquiring out to the road. Said me Connacht broke, wasn't much in vogue on the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macphail-Aldida. Breath break. From there I got away, my spear was never failing. Landed on the quay just as the ship was sailing. Captain at me road, said that no room had it. When I jumped aboard a cab and bound for Paddy, down among the pigs, played some at the dicks, then some at the jigs. The water around me bubbling when the volley had wished myself was dead. A bit of far instead on the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macphail-Aldida. The boys of Liverpool, when we safely landed, called myself a fool. I could no longer stand it, blood began to boil. Temper I was losing, poor old Aaron's Isle. They began abusing it from me soul, since I'm a shillelagh. I left by, go by boys are nigh, and thought I was a hobbling with the loud hooray. Join me in the affray, pickle cleared the way for the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin, Macphail-Aldida. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, Macphail-Aldida.
May I take a look at you while you take a deep breath?
Well, welcome to all of you out there in Ferrybox Land at DRF. We sure appreciate you having us here. We're the Reelin Rogues, as you can see by our big banner behind us. And we're so happy to be back here with all of you guys. We can't be together in person just yet.
Not yet, but thankfully we have fairy friends that help come to you in your living room or your tavern, in our case.
Welcome!
We have our personal tavern.
To our own personal tavern. So you have found us in the tavern. We hope you've brought a drink. We sure have ours. So let's raise a glass to just a wee little Gaelic toast. Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Simply means health to all of you. So let's try one more time and then we must sip. Sláinte.
Sláinte.
A wee little sip.
Just a sip. You're a gulping though.
I've spilled. So.
You spilled. This is why you take sips.
We're going to do a song for you now about marriage.
Oh, well then indeed, maybe we should gulp.
There's a part in this for you guys. This is a song about marriage of the arranged variety. And the chorus goes like this. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me. My mother's making me Mary Mac. I'm gonna marry Mary for my Mary's taking care of me. We'll all be feeling merry when I marry Mary Mac. Nice, easy sing-along, right?
Y'all got
Can
that,
you,
right?
Can you roll on back just the second line? So I'm gonna say Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me. And you scream on back, type on back, send the heart explosion, send videos of yourself screaming.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Exactly, let's give it a try. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Yeah, good job. Now it's a little slow. It's a little faster than that. Let's try it one more time, just a wee bit faster. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Good.
Good.
Actually, still a little faster
No,
than that.
yeah,
See, here we go.
let's
Here we go. Let's just do
go
full
full
speed.
speed.
Are you ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a neat little lass and her name is Mary Mac. Make no mistake, she's a girl I'm gonna track. A lot of other fellas trying to get up on her back, but I'm thinking that they'll have to get up early. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Yeah, gonna marry for one Mary's taking care of me. We'll all be feeling merry when I marry Mary Mac. Now Mary and her mother are an awful lot together, and in fact, you hardly see the one without the other. And people often wonder if it's Mary or her mother, or both of them together. I'm 14.
Ooh.
Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Yeah, gonna marry for one Mary's taking care of me. We'll all be feeling merry when I marry Mac. Now, up among the heads around the hills of Benefit, I had a bonny lass, she was sitting on me knee. A bumblebee stung me right above the knee. Up among the heads around the hills of Benefit, Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Yeah, gonna marry for one Mary's taking care of me. We'll all be feeling merry when I marry Mary Mac. Well, I said, me bonny lass, where you gonna spend the day? She said, among the heather around the hills of Benefit, where all the boys and girls are making out to pray. Up among the heather around the hills of Benefit, Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Yeah, gonna marry for one Mary's taking care of me. We'll all be feeling merry when I marry Mary Mac. Well, that wedding is on Wednesday and everything's arranged, and soon her name will be changed. Her mind unless her mind be changed and making those arrangements. I am feeling quite deranged. Marriage is an awful undertaking.
Excuse me, I'm gonna fix that. Because I'm right here. I'm just gonna take this over here.
Not marriage, weddings. Weddings are an awful undertaking.
Good save, sir. You may have that back.
Well, now, Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
I'm gonna marry for one Mary's taking care of me. We'll all be feeling merry when I marry Mary Mac. Woo! Oh, there's a neat little lass and her name is Mary Mac. Make no mistake, she's a girl I'm gonna track. A lot of other fellas try to get up on her back, but I'm thinking that they'll have to get up early. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Yeah, gonna marry for one Mary's taking care of me. We'll all be feeling merry and faster now. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me.
My mother's making me Mary Mac.
Gonna marry for one Mary's taking care of me. We'll all be feeling merry. And one more time. Mary Mac's mother's making Mary Mac marry me. My mother's making me Mary Mac. Gonna marry for one Mary's taking care of me. We'll all be feeling merry when I marry Mary Mac. I'll feel merry when I marry Mary Mac.
Well, I am.
Well,
I'm indeed.
that's a fast warm-up 2 songs, right?
Yeah. I'm a bit warmed up. That's for sure.
I'm a bit out of breath, truth be told.
This
So,
is also true.
we're gonna slow it down for you just a wee bit so that I can breathe, to be 100%
But it really
honest.
is just a wee bit.
But it really is just a wee bit. Well, it's a lot a bit in speed and just a wee bit in attitude. This next song, including a wee bit of Gaelic, is a song about learning to drink. In school.
We like to teach you things here.
Obviously, university school. I would not drink before university. That would be irresponsible.
And illegal in some places.
So this song is called The Juice of the Barley. And the chorus, with the wee bit of Gaelic, I'd like to explain to you so that you know what you're listening to. The chorus goes, Banya namo isangavna. Banya namo isangavna, which means milk is all right for the calf, but the juice of the barley for me.
For me.
For us.
Well, share.
For all of us.
For you.
In sweet County Limerick, one cold winter's night, all the turf fires were burning when I first saw the light. And a drunken old midwife went tipsy with joy as she danced round the floor with her slip of a boy, singing Banya Mo, his son Gafna, and the juice of the barley for me. Well, when I was a gossoon, about 8 years or so, with me turf and me primer to school I did go, to a dusty old schoolhouse without any doors. There lay the schoolmaster blind drunk on the floor, singing Banya Mo, his son Gavna, and the juice of the barley for me. See, learning to drink directly from the schoolmaster. Well, in learning I wasn't such a genius, I'm thinking, but I soon beat the master entirely at drinking.
Accomplishments.
Not a wake or a wedding, for miles around, but myself in the corner was sure to be found, singing Banya Mo, his son Gavna, and the juice of the barley for me. Well, the next Sunday morning, the priest looked down from the altar, said you'll end up your days with your neck in a halter, and you'll dance a fine jig between heaven and hell. And his words, they did frighten me, truth for to tell, singing Banya Mo, his son Gavna, and the juice of the barley for me. Well, the next verse requires a wee bit of explanation. There's a line in this verse about punch. And you see, in Ireland, punch is not that fruity stuff that I hear about from this country. In Ireland, punch is made with whiskey and ice and whiskey.
Oh wait, and I know the last ingredient. More whiskey.
But maybe a wee bit of herbs, some ginger or something.
But don't forget the whiskey.
Don't forget the whiskey. So when we get to the punch, remember what those splurgy are drinking. Well, the very next morning, as dawn it did break, I went down to the vestry, the pledge for to take. And there in that room sat the priests in a bunch, round a big roaring fire, drinking tumblers of punch, singing Banya Mo, his son Gavna, the juice of the barley for me. Oh, from that day to this, I have wandered alone.
What about
You're looking
me?
at me funny. Didn't forget you. From that day to this, we have wandered.
What about our child? And our dog? And our cats?
From that day to this, our menagerie has wandered
cool.
along. Is that better?
Much better.
I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none. With the sky as me roof and the earth as me floor, and I'll dance out me days, drinking whiskey galore, singing Banya Mo, his son Gavna, and the juice of the barley for me. Oh yeah, singing Banya Mo, his son Gavna, and the juice of the barley for me.
All of us. I liked that one. That was a good break. Good.
That was fun. And I have now caught my breath. Whew. Thank God. Well, what are you going to do after learning to drink? We've been to a wedding. We learned to drink in university.
Well, you must
Later
drink, of
schooling.
course.
Well, then obviously after that is going to be the pub crawl. I mean, just all over the whiskey
how
sake.
about a whiskey sampler instead?
A whiskey there we go.
A whiskey
sampler.
We do a whiskey tour.
A sampler of all the whiskey songs we know. A wee little taste of all the whiskey songs we know.
Just
We're going to start off with
the flight. This is the flight.
This is the
of
flight.
all the whiskey songs we know.
We're going to start off with the song that has a part in it for you guys. It's about one of the greatest exports from Ireland here to this country, which is, of course, moonshine.
I love moonshine.
I do too.
It's quite
It's so delicious. Good Irish poaching. So this one is called The Moonshiner, and there's a part in it for you guys. We're going to say, and if you don't like me, I'm going to ask you to scream on back, then leave me alone! But please don't leave us alone. Then we're sitting here playing with ourselves. which is actually what we're doing already.
No,
Here in the
I'm
ferry
sorry.
boats.
What are you doing? Because I'm definitely not doing that.
Well, they're for ourselves. Distinct difference.
Grammar.
You're right.
Grammar
You're right.
is quite
Distinct
important.
difference.
Especially in case there's children watching. That's very important that we don't do that kind
For
of show.
ourselves. For.
Not that kind
with.
of show here.
Wrong. You're right. Prepositions. Very
Very important.
So let's give it a little try. And if you don't like me,
Then leave me alone.
I think I got it.
I think I
I
heard
even
that.
heard it. It was good. Remember, put it in the comments, have the heart explosion, take a video yourself, and post it here on Digital Ren Fair or on the Reelin Rogues. Here.
Or both.
Or both. Let's dive right in. I think you guys got it.
I
Here
want
we
to
go with the
hear you so loud.
moonshiner up to our flight of whiskey. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home. And if you don't like me, then
Leave me alone.
yeah, I'll eat when I'm hungry and I'll drink when I'm dry. And if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. Well, I've been a moonshiner for many years the year, and I spent all me money on that whiskey and beer.
Priorities.
I'll go to some hollow and I'll set up me still, and I'll make you a gallon for a 10-shilling bill. 'Cause I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home. And if you don't like me, then
Leave me alone.
yeah, I'll eat when I'm hungry and I'll drink when I'm dry. And if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. Well, I'll go to some hollow in this countery with 10 gallons of wash. I can go on the spree. No women to follow. The world is all mine.
You're cute. What?
Oh, I can dream. And I love none so well as I love the moonshine.
That's gonna get you back later.
Oh, look at that face of appalledness. Oh, so good.
Just wait for it.
Well, I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home. And if you don't like me, then
Leave me alone.
hey, I'll eat when I'm hungry and I'll drink when I'm dry. And if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. Oh, moonshine, dear moonshine, oh how I love thee. Though you killed me, old father, how dare you try me? Bless all moonshiners and bless their moonshine, for its breath smells as sweet as the dew on the vine. 'Cause I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home. And if you don't like me, then
Leave me alone.
yeah, I'll eat when I'm hungry and I'll drink when I'm dry. And if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. One more time, oh yeah! I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home. And if you don't like me, then
Leave me
woo,
alone.
I'll eat when I'm hungry and I'll drink when I'm dry. And if moonshine don't kill me, I'll live till I die. Well, gather up your pots and your old tin can with the mash and the corn, the body and the bran. Run like the devil from the excess man, keep the smoke from rising Barney, and keep your eyes well peeled today. Texas men, they are on their way, searching for the mountain tea in the hills of Conaway. Gather up your pots and your old tin can with the mash and the corn, the body and the bran. Run like the devil from the excess man, keep the smoke from rising Barney. Well, it's a gown for the butcher and Big Nick Klein, and a bottle for poor old Father Stein. Keep him off of that altar wine in the hills of Connemara. Gather up your pots and your old tin cans, mash in the corn, a body in the brand. Run like the devil from the excess man, keep the smoke from rising Barney. You said gather up your pots and your old tin cans, mash in the corn, a body in the brand. Run like the devil from the excess man, keep the smoke from rising Barney. Well, it's all for me grog, oh me jolly, jolly grog. It's all for me beer and tobacco. Well, I spent all me tin on the lassies drinking gin, but across the Western Ocean I must wander. Well, I'm sick in the head, and I haven't been to bed since first I came ashore with me plunder. For I spent all me dough on the lassies that you know, and I'll have to make a path for way out yonder. And it's all for me grog, me jolly, jolly grog. It's all for me beer and tobacco. I spent all me tin on the lassies drinking gin, for across the Western Ocean I must wander. Well, I said, where is me wife? Me noggin, noggin wife. She's all gone for beer and tobacco. Oh, God! Oh, what? Where? We're running the tavern. The bumps.
I told you it was going to come back.
That's teeny weeny. That's not going to hurt.
Do you want to see the power
just
of
take
some...
it. Ah!
I think
Never
one
mind.
more.
I didn't like that.
One more for good luck.
Oh, no.
One more.
Ah! And I'm sure she's looking out for weather weather. And it's all for me grog, the jolly grog. It's all for me beer and tobacco. When I spent all me tin on the lassie drinking gin, far across the western ocean I must wander. One more time, and it's all for me grog, oh me jolly grog. It's all for me beer and tobacco. Well, I spent all me tin on the lassie drinking gin, far across the western ocean I must wander. And now for the anthem of the next morning.
The repenting.
Oh, we've been there. Yeah, whiskey, you're the devil. You're leading me astray. Over hills and mountains into America. You're sweeter, stronger, decenter, funkier than day. Oh, me whiskey, you're me darling, drunk or sober. And now brave boys are on the march and off to Portugal and Spain. Drums are beating, banners flying. The devil at home will come tonight. Love, fare thee well. Maybe to the rather diddly amada. To the rather diddly amada. Wax pot or a latte, oh, there's whiskey in the jar. Hey, whiskey, you're the devil. You're leading me astray. Over hills and mountains into America. You're sweeter, stronger, decenter, funkier than day. Oh, me whiskey, you're me darling, drunk or sober. Hey, whiskey, you're the devil. You're leading me astray. Over hills and mountains into America. You're sweeter, stronger, decenter, funkier than day. Oh, me whiskey, you're me darling, drunk or sober.
Whew. This is quite the whiskey fight.
And now for the most pragmatic drinking song I know. What do you do when you want everyone to sing along and everyone's been drinking all night? Obviously, you get rid of the words.
Oh, that's kind.
So this is really more of a mumble along than even a sing along. Goes like this. Hi diddle dee diddly doo la dum diddly doo da diddly da day, or hi diddle diddly doo dum diddly da diddly da day. Both work. Let grasses grow and water flow in a free and easy way. But give me enough of the final stuff that's made near Galway Bay. And policemen all from Donegal, from Sligo and Leitrim too. We'll give them a sip and we'll take a sip of the real old Mountain Dew. Hi diddle dee diddly doo la dum diddly doo da diddly da day. Hi diddle dee diddly doo la dum diddly doo da diddly da day. Woo! At the foot of the hill, there's a neat little still where the smoke curls up to the sky. While smoke and smell, plain to tell, there's poaching brewing nearby. It fills the air with odor rare and betwixt both me and you. And home you roll, you can take a bowl or a bucket of the Mountain Dew. Hi diddle dee diddly doo la dum diddly doo da diddly da day. Hi diddle dee diddly doo la dum diddly doo da diddly da day. Well, now learned men who use the pen have wrote your praises high. That sweet poaching from iron and green, distilled from wheat and rye. Throw away your pills, it'll cure all ills, be a pagan, Christian, a Jew. Take off your coat and grease your throat with a real old Mountain Dew. Hi diddle dee diddly doo la dum diddly doo da diddly da day. Hi diddle dee diddly doo la dum diddly doo da diddly da day. Hi diddle dee diddly doo la dum diddly doo da diddly da day. Hi diddle dee diddly doo la dum diddly doo da diddly da day.
Well, that was quite the whiskey tour.
I am flighted.
How are y'all feeling after that?
Out of breath is my answer.
Hot, very red.
I'm almost the same color as my shirt.
I know. Me too. Oh.
Well, we got a song for you now that'll give you just a wee bit of time.
But first, a sip.
That would be very important.
It's very important to stay hydrated. With whatever you choose.
I had a tune on my way to my sip. So you remember your wee little Gaelic. Sláinte. Sláinte at all you just means health. We hope all of you are keeping healthy during these times. And thank you so much for joining us here at the Digital Ren Fair. Digital Ren Fair, not Digital Ren Fair. Digital Ren Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. Cheers twice, that means 2 sips. Well, since we are here in the tavern, here in the pub, we're going to do for you what you would absolutely hear in any good Irish pub around Ireland. Not just songs. Yes, they have all the drinking songs. Yes, we're known for our fun, rollicking songs, but also the important songs. Shakespeare himself was quoted at admiring the sadness, the longing in Irish music. So here's a song that's been around for hundreds of years, originally known as the Merlot Air. Here are the lyrics written to it by Father O'Neill when he thought about the Easter rising. This one is called The Foggy Dew. As down the glen one Easter morn to a city fair rode I, there armed lines of marching men in squadrons passed me by. No pipe did hum, nor battle drum did sound its loud tattoo, but the Angelus bell or the Liffey swell rang out through the foggy dew. Right proudly high o'er Dublin town they flung out the flag of war. 'Twas better to die 'neath an Irish sky than at Suvla or Sudelmar. Oh, and from the plains of Royal Meath strong men came hurrying through, while Britannia's Huns with their long-range guns they sailed in through the foggy dew. Then the night it fell black and the rifles crack, made perfidious Albion reel. It the legend rain 7 tongues of flame did shine o'er the lines of steel. By each shining blade a prayer was said that to Ireland her sons be true. And when morning broke, still the war flag shook out its folds in foggy dew. The bravest they fell, and the requiem bell rang mournfully and clear for those who died that Easter tide in the springtime of the year. How the world did gaze with deep amaze at those fearless men but few, who bore the fight that freedom's light might shine through the foggy dew. So back through the glen I rode again, though my heart with grief was sore. For I parted then with such valiant men, whom I never shall see more. But to and fro in my dreams I go, though I kneel and pray for you. For slavery fled, oh glorious dead, when he fell in the foggy dew. Yes, for slavery fled, oh glorious dead, when you fell in the foggy dew. Oh,
Well, that definitely got serious.
did you feel the weight of that one?
It really did get
The
serious.
weight of history. Well, while we're on that, we're going to do another song for you that really pays tribute to the fact that the Celts erect their monuments out of song rather than out of stone. This is 2 songs for you back to back about one of the greatest heroes of the Celts of the last couple of hundred years. Happened to be a Stuart prince born on the continent that grew up in Rome. But he was the one that brought the Highlanders together to march at Culloden Moor. So this one, first one is called Sound the Pibroch, and from that we're going to go into one entirely in Gaelic called Mogilamar, which was an Irish lament for the Bonnie Prince. So here we go, Sound the Pibroch.
I love this one.
Hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Rise and follow Charlie. Battle of Culloden Moor was one of the most important battles in all of Celtic history, as it marked the end of the traditional Celtic way of life in the Scottish Highlands. The Bonnie Prince, Prince Charles Stuart, led the Highlanders over the hills with their great claymore swords, right into the English artillery. After the defeat, the Highlanders retreated back into the hills, where for the better part of the next century, the English followed, and in retribution, they outlawed the speaking of Gaelic. They outlawed the wearing of the tartan. They outlawed the playing of the bagpipes. And those few that would have had the courage to do so would have gone up to the hills, and on their outlawed pipes, they would have played a pibroch as a lament for all that was lost that day. This one is Sound the Pibroch. So sound the pibroch loud and high, from John O'Groats to the Isle of Skye. Let all your clans their battle cry, to rise and follow Charlie. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Rise and follow Charlie. Hatching foam is Scots Gaelic for I wish to, or I am called to, rise and follow Charlie. Oh, from every hill and from every glen, they are gathering fast, their loyal men. They grasp their dirks and they shout again, hurrah for Royal Charlie. Oh, hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Rise and follow Charlie. Oh, now on dark Culloden's field of gore, hark out they cry, claymore, claymore. Oh, bravely they fight, can they do more? They die for Royal Charlie. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Rise and follow Charlie. Now no more we'll see such deeds again. Deserted is each Highland glen, and lonely cairns lay o'er the men who fought and died for Charlie. So hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Hatching foam, foam, foam. Rise and follow Charlie. Oh, now the white rose blossoms forth again, deep in those sheltered Highland glens, and soon we'll hear the cry again, to rise and follow Charlie. So sound the pibroch loud and high, from John O'Groats to the Isle of Skye. Let all your Hatching, fum, fum, fum. Hatching, fum, fum, fum. Hatching, fum, fum, fum. Rise and follow Charlie. Shemolech mohilemar, shemohezagilemar. Una shenim boraspen, a quick again mohilemar. Im shabuiner burkoklo, ekiga quer sector nanyor. Swila wimon bukelbjorn, snarib tarturis guik mavro. Shemolech mohilemar, shemoheza hilemar. Suna shenim orasven, hokuik igem mohilemar. Lauran quirkel serkirnon, is nilga gairi kjoltano, namazunari glantefjo, podimeshe wimon bukulbjo. Shemolech mohilemar, shemohezagilemar, suna shemin borasven, och quick again mohilemar. Shabuiner burkoklo, ekiga quer sector nanjo, var squila imon bukulbjo, snari tarturis ulik magro. Shemolech mohilemar, shemoheza gilemar, una shenin borasen, och quick again mohilemar. Shemolech mohilemar, shemohezagilemar. Suna shenin borasven, och quick again mohilemar. Och quick again mohilemar. What a song.
I like those two together.
Aren't those amazing?
I think they're
A
wonderful.
little ode to Bonnie Prince Charlie. Well, we're going to dive right out of the serious songs, right out of the history. And we're going to do a song for you now. We're going to do a song for you now about arson,
Ooh, you
About-
guys want to shout?
setting the pub on fire. You want to shout?
Let's shout.
There's a lot of parts in this for you guys. Actually, there's kind of a lot, but there's really only 2 words. We need you to shout, booze!
Booze! Wait. Booze, booze. It's times 2.
Yes, we can never have just the
Because you
one.
never just have the one drink.
Never have the
Ever.
one. So let's give that a try at home. It's not a very well cued callback, so I'm going to say, here you go. And you say, booze, booze!
Booze, booze!
There we go. And the second one is the most well-cued callback I ever heard. I'm going to say, somebody shouted McIntyre. And you're going to shout at the top of your lungs. You're going to type in the comments below. You're going to make the hearts explode as you yell, McIntyre! Yeah. Well done. This one's called When the Old Dun Cow Caught Fire. Some friends and I in a public house were playing dominoes one night. Went into the room, the barman ran, his face all chalky white. Oh, what's up, says Brown. Have you seen a ghost? Have you seen your Aunt Mariah? Oh, me Aunt Mariah be buggered, says he. For the bloody pub's on fire.
Ooh.
Well, on fire, says Brown. What a bit of luck. Everybody, follow me. I'll go down to the cellar if the fire's not there, and we'll have a rare old spree. So we all went down after good old Brown. For booze we could not miss. And we weren't there 5 minutes or more, till we were all quite pissed.
Oops.
And there was Brown, upside down, lapping up the whiskey from the floor. Here you go!
Booze!
Yeah!
Booze!
The firemen cried as they came knocking at the door. I don't let them in till it's all drunk up. And somebody shouted McIntyre.
McIntyre!
Yeah! And we all got blue, blind, paralytic drunk when the old gun cow caught fire.
I totally heard them.
Well, then Smith walked over to the port wine tub and he gave it just a few hard knocks. Started taking off his pantaloons, likewise his shoes and socks. Oh, hold on, says Brown. That ain't allowed. You cannot do that in there. Don't go washing your nethers in the port wine tub when we've got this low-carb ale.
No, that's great for a fizzy bath.
Great for bathing. Perfect.
Bathing's perfect.
And there was Brown, upside down, lapping up the whiskey from the floor. Here you go.
Booze!
Yeah! Firemen cried as they came knocking at the door. I don't let them in till it's all drunk up. And somebody shouted McIntyre.
McIntyre!
Yeah! And we all got blue, blind, paralytic drunk when the old dun cow caught fire. Well, in any good Irish drinking song, you can't leave the priest out of the equation. It's cultural after all. So here's his entrance. And later it's not that. I thought it could be a hers too here in America. We don't discriminate. So here's their entrance. There we go. Oh well, and then there came to the old back door the vicar of our local church. And when he had seen our drunken ways, he began to scream and curse. Ah, you drunken sods, you heathen clods, you're taking to a drunken spree. Drink up all that Benedictine brandy. But you didn't save even a drop for me.
Well, we saved you some whiskey instead. Would you like? Would you like?
Of course
some?
I'd like it. You're absolved. I absolve you.
Oh, good.
And there was Brown, upside down, lapping up the whiskey from the floor. Here you go.
Booze! Booze!
The firemen cried as they came knocking at the door. I don't let them in till it's all drunk up. And somebody shouted McIntyre.
McIntyre!
Yeah! And we all got blue, blind, paralytic drunk when the old dun cow caught fire. Oh, well, and then there came a mighty crash. Half the bloody roof gave way.
Oh, no!
We were almost drowned in the firemen's holes, but we were gonna stay.
It's commitment.
So we got some tacks and some old wet sacks, and we nailed ourselves inside. And we sat there drinking pints of stout till we was bleary-eyed.
Don't go that way. That's very dangerous. There's stone and there's fire, and we don't want that.
And there was Brown, upside down, lapping up the whiskey from the floor. Here you go. Booze, booze! The firemen cried as they came knocking at the door. I don't let them in till it's all drunk up. And somebody shouted McIntyre.
McIntyre!
Yeah! And we all got blue, blind, paralytic drunk when the old dun cow caught fire. One more time, there was Brown, upside down, lapping up the whiskey from the floor. Here you go.
Booze!
Yeah!
Booze!
Firemen cried as they came knocking at the door. I don't let them in till it's all drunk up. And everybody shouted McIntyre!
McIntyre!
I know you can be louder than that! And everybody shouted McIntyre!
Let's hear it, McIntyre!
Yeah! Woo!
Ooh, I totally heard.
I heard that for sure. I felt it in my bones.
In the guts.
And we all got blue, blind, paralytic drunk when the old dun cow caught fire. Whew. Yeah.
That felt good.
That felt
believe
good. Did that feel good
deserves
to all
a
of you
sip.
out there?
That-
Isn't that fun?
A sip to you.
A sip to you for sure.
Slancha
Possibly
to you.
catch my breath up that.
Whew.
Whew.
Well, I believe that brings us.
To the final song.
Can you believe it already?
I know. That goes so fast when you're having a good time. So there's some more Gaelic in this for you guys. This is a love song for you. A true love song. And it goes like this. O grama krima krishkin.
Oh, grama krima krishkin.
You just said, oh, love of my heart.
Oh.
My little jug. It's a love song to a little jug of whiskey.
Oh, okay, that's much better.
Yes, yes.
I don't
Not
think
about a person.
I mean, I'm short and all, but I didn't think that I would look like a jug, so.
Oh, no. Not commenting on any shapes. Just to whiskey. Second line.
It's a beautiful whiskey
Slancha.
jug. Slancha.
You learned that part, right? Slancha means health. So slancha galma vornin.
Slancha galma vorni.
You just said health to you, my precious one. Third line, just like the first. O grama krima krishkin lawn. Which means, oh, love of my heart, my little full jug.
We would not write a love song to whiskey, to an empty jug.
No,
that would not be good.
Decoration.
That's sad.
Target
that's
practice.
just sad.
Useless is what it is.
Those are the pigeons.
For sure. Fourth line, just like the first. O grama krima krishkin lawn. Let the farmer praise the town, let the huntsman praise his ground, the shepherd praise his dewy scented lawn. Oh, but I'm more wise than they, spend me choppy night and day. Me darling little Krishkin lawn, lawn. Me darling little Krishkin lawn. Here we go! Oh, grama krima Krishkin, slancha galma vornin. Grama krima Krishkin lawn. Oh, grama krima Krishkin lawn. Immortal and divine, great Bacchus, god of wine, create me by adoption your own son. And in hopes that you'll comply, and me glass will never run dry. No, me darling little Krishkin lawn. Me darling little Krishkin lawn. Here we go! Oh, grama krima Krishkin, slancha galma vornin. Grama krima Krishkin lawn. Oh, grama krima Krishkin lawn. And when cruel death appears in a few but happy years and says, oh, won't you come along with me? I'll say, begone your knave, for King Bacchus gave me leave to take another Krishkin lawn. To take another Krishkin lawn. Here we go! A grama krima Krishkin, slancha galma vornin. Grama krima Krishkin lawn. A grama krima Krishkin lawn. So come and raise your glasses high, lest we part with lips so dry.
Oh, tragedy.
Well, we can't have that, so we must take one last wee little sip. So remember your Gaelic slancha. Slancha to all of you out there. Wee little sip now.
Just a wee. Just a wee. That was definitely not a wee.
That was wee. For the lark now proclaims it is the dawn. But since we shan't remain, may we shortly meet again.
Hopefully.
And me, darling little Krishkin lawn. Me darling little Krishkin lawn. Here we go! Oh, grama krima Krishkin, slancha galma vornin. Grama krima Krishkin lawn. Oh, grama krima Krishkin lawn. One more time! Oh, grama krima Krishkin, slancha galma vornin. Grama krima Krishkin lawn. Oh, grama krima Krishkin lawn. Well, thank you so much to all of you. We've been the Reelin Rogues. We sure hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, and we hope you enjoy the digital Ren Fair, this wonderful visiting experience, bringing it right to your living room. Thanks again to all of you. Have a wonderful night, and slancha.
To your health.
To your health.
Well, that was truly grand. Hey, let's send the Reelin Rogues off to a geyser of hearts and thumbs and other emoji love, shall we? Keep those digits active. And of course, it's never too late to show more than symbolic appreciation for their efforts. The Reelin Rogues virtual hat is always open. And now, indulge me, if you would, in a moment of contemplation. Listening to those fabulous Irish tunes and ballads got me thinking about how Irish musicians and writers have taken their history, which is full of violence and strife, and from that discord created such beautiful, inspiring, and harmonious music.
Transported, as it were, to the Emerald Isle,
I began to muse upon the rivalry there between the green and the orange. Now, green as a symbol for Ireland seems entirely obvious. It is, after all, the Emerald Isle. But orange? I mean, it seems quite odd for any group among so poetical a people to choose consciously as their image a colour for which there is no rhyme. Well, that, you see, that would be due to William of Orange, Protestant King of England, Scotland, and Ireland, who, of course, was not English, Scottish, or Irish, but Dutch, from Holland, the Netherlands. I know, it's complicated, but leaving the difficult politics of the noble houses of Europe behind, let's go back to the more simple and straightforward matter of the symbolic use of colours, shall we? You see, Dutch farmers, in tribute to their royal House of Orange, engaged in one of the most patient, deliberate, and methodical acts of patriotism in history. Season after season, these farmers selectively bred their carrots, which had previously more or less randomly produced orange and white and purple and even black specimens, to only produce the orange variety. You simply must hand it to the patience of the Dutch. I mean, look, these are a people who stood on the shore of the North Sea, looked out over the waves and thought to themselves, my, what a lovely spot for a garden. And then proceeded to construct miles of earthen dams in the sea, manufacture giant screw pumps, build massive windmills to power the pumps, and then pump the sea away so that they have land in which to plant carrots. So, before I get back to my point, let's just have a hand for Dutch farmers, and their hand in bringing us the orange carrot, which, with its green top, happens to produce a lovely symbol for Irish harmony and unity. And so, to bring our little symbolic journey to its natural conclusion, we affix the root of the matter, so to speak, firmly thus, and then, preparing a working surface, we employ tools, related in form and function, if not in scale and application, to the very tools the Dutch used to prepare the ground for our endeavours. A screw or auger to remove the material that is in our way, and an arrangement of gears for the transference of force from one axis to another. Then employ the auger thusly, and begin to drill into the carrot. I must apologize, this takes a little while. It is, after all, the boring part. But thankfully, it doesn't last long. It's probably not what you were expecting, was it? And it's true. The comments might already be flying out there. Do not play with your food. I know. Look, don't play with your food. Play your food. Right? Kids, that's called a technicality. Gets you off the hook with authority like 9 times out of 10. Even better odds if you can afford a good lawyer. It's also a demonstration of something I call pre-cycling. Right. Before you do what you were going to do with something, you do something else with it first. No, bad choice for a host. Why don't we let the digital wizards take over for a moment while I finish my snack.
Hello, lords and ladies. Good to see you. I was just looking through my correspondence with some of our Patreon patrons. So exciting to see all the different names on here and all the generous people. Just so you know, I learned how to read just so I could do this segment, so I'm sorry if I mispronounce some of these words, but I just want to tell you about some of these people. For example, there's Jeremy Licata, thank you Jeremy, Kathleen Murphy Bliss, also Mariah Bliss, Kathy Bonham, Carolyn Lady George, oh, Nick Pepinella. I was talking to Nick the other day and I found out that he has pet turtles that are named after Renaissance painters, like Michelangelo and Raphael and stuff like that. Do I know of someone else who does that? and Orgosia, or is it Orgosia? Serena Gallegos, who I learned is a nurse, a cardiac nurse, who works nights, so thank you, nocturnal essential worker. Star Weiss, Stephanie Dennis, Stephanie M. Glore, Sue Tucker. Thank you so much to all of you. It's because of you that our wizards are able to work more efficiently at getting you good content and all of these different performers up on the screen there in your houses. We really do appreciate it. Now, I have to go and write some songs for some of you, because some of you in the royal family tier get songs written about you. Now, if any of you out there like the sound of that, you can still join our Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/digitalrenfair, and you can also get shout outs, songs written about you, t-shirts, bonus content. There's a lot of fun stuff. But for now, I'll send you back to our regularly scheduled programming. Farewell.
Well, time's flying. I, for one, am having a marvelous time. I hope you are too. It's just about time to introduce our final musical guest of today, the fair Lady Prudence. You may have seen her and heard her beautiful music in Arizona at the festival there, or Carolina, or several other places that she's appeared. And if not, and if so, either way, she's up next. Please enjoy the music and warm presence of Lady Prudence.
Welcome, sweet friends, to another session of music with your court composer, Lady Prudence. I'm so very, very happy to get to share my music again with you. So my dear friends, sit back, relax, have a drink, and we shall see what new heights of understanding we can come to with my musical selections for today. My first selection was called The Lover's Waltz. Oh. Now, for my next tune, I felt it most appropriate to sing a song that has long been dear to me. This is How Can I Keep From Singing? My life goes on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the sweet though far off hymn that hails a new creation through all the For my next tune, I shall play a song that is dedicated to the lovely trees of Ireland and enjoying them as long as you can, for the trees of which I sing are sadly no longer in existence. They were felled by the hand of man in order to create a fleet of ships at the shipyards of Antrim. This is Bonnie Portmore. Bonnie Portmore, you shine where you stand, and the more I think on you, the more I think long. If I had you now, as I had once before, all the lords of old England would not purchase Portmore. Oh, Bonnie Portmore, I am sorry to see such woeful destruction of your ornament tree. For you stood by your shore for many's the long day, till the long boats of Antrim came to blow you away. Oh, Bonnie Portmore, you shine where you stand, and the more I think on you, the more I think long. If I had you now, as I had once before, all the lords of old England would not purchase Portmore. All the birds in the forest, they bitterly weep, saying, where shall we shelter, where shall we sleep? For the oak and the ash, they're all cut and down, and the walls of Bonnie Portmore are all down to the ground. Oh, Bonnie Portmore, you shine where you stand, and the more I think on you, the more I think long. If I had you now, as I had once before, all the lords of old England would not purchase Portmore. For my next tune, I shall switch to guitar. I do want to continue to amaze and astound all of my sweet friends watching. Now, for this next tune, I shall play for you a song about myself, or someone very much like me. The next tune I shall play is called The Minstrel Boy. Minstrel boy to the war is gone, in the ranks of death you will find him. His father's sword he has girded on, his wild harp slung behind him. Land of song, said the warrior born, though all the world betrays thee once or at least thy right shall guard, when faithful heart shall praise thee. The minstrel fell, but the foeman's chain could not bring his proud soul under. The harp he loved never spoke again, for he tore its chords asunder, and said, no chain shall sully thee, thou soul of love. play his harp in peace in a world such as heaven intended for all. The bitterness of man must cease, and every battle must be ended. Then may he play his harp in peace in a world such as heaven intended for all. The bitterness of man must cease, and every battle must be ended. There is a mighty soldier who guards our village wall. His duty to watch over us, protecting one and all. And some say he's a barbarian, as they see his weapons wave. As he scans the far horizon, this barbarian at the gate. Well, he certainly looks fearsome, his spear clenched in his hand, but he knows a battle unprovoked brings honor to no man. So he stands there at the ready, and silently he waits, the patient and the vigilant barbarian at the gate. And I know his wife must worry when he has to stay all night, but I know he wins so one of us should never have to fight. Sometimes I see the soldier stood on our village wall. He nods and smiles down at me without a word at all. And I do not know if I could bear a burden half as great, but I'm proud and I am thankful for the barbarian at the gate. The barbarian at the gate. That last tune is called The Barbarian at the Gate. It was written by a friend of mine about another friend of mine who was raised as a barbarian, and as soon as he was of age, he enlisted in Her Majesty's Marine Corps, and he went on many missions in the service of Queen and country, and I'm very happy to say he never failed to return. Now I'm going to switch back to the harp. For now that I've sung of minstrels and barbarians, it is time to sing of the wars in which they represented their fine queens and countries. So, now the next song I shall play is the song about the Great Easter Uprising, when the Irish decided that they just couldn't take it anymore, and they took advantage of all the confusion around World War I to hatch a revolution. Sadly, that particular revolution was found out before it could gain its feet. However, within a few years, they did have political reform, and now we have the Republic of Ireland, so golf claps. But first, the battle. This is The Foggy Dew. 'Twas down the glen one Easter morn, 'twas City Fair rode I, when Ireland's line of marching men in squadrons passed me by. No pipe did have, no battle drum did sound its dread tattoo, but the Angelus bell or the Liffey swell rang out in the foggy dew. Right proudly high over Dublin town they hung out the flag of war. 'Twas better to die neath an Irish sky than at Souvlar at Soudelbar, when from the plains of Royal Meath strong men came hurrying through, while Britannia's sons with their long-range guns winds sailed in from the foggy dew. 'Twas England, but our wild geese go, that small nations might be free. Their lonely graves are by Suvla's waves, on the fringe of the grey North Sea. But had they died by Pierce's side, or fought with Cathal Brew, their graves we keep where the Fenians sleep, 'neath the hills of the foggy dew. The bravest fell, and the solemn bell ring mournfully and clear, for those who died that Easter tide in the spring of the year. And the world did gaze in deep amaze at those fearless men and true, who bore the fight that freedom's light might shine through the foggy dew. 'Twas back through the glen I rode again, and my heart with grief was sore, for I parted then with valiant men, who I ne'er shall see no more. And to and fro in my dreams I go, and I'll kneel and say a prayer for you, for slavery fled, oh glorious dead, when you fell in the foggy dew. Now, not all of our Irish boys were lost in battles, or at least not lost in death. The next song I shall sing is about the time my true love was sent away to Australia for crimes against the crown. This is The Fields of Athenry. By the lonely prison wall, I heard the young girl calling, Michael, they have taken you away, for you stole Trevelyan's corn, that the young might see the morn. Now the prison ship is waiting in the bay. Lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free bird fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By the lonely prison wall, I heard the young man calling. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crown, I rebelled, they put me down. Now you must raise our child with dignity. and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. The fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free bird fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Now that was a nice depressing suite of songs, wasn't it? Why didn't we bring things back up a bit? Fain would I cause thee to sob into your drinks without giving you a little something to put a smile on your face. That's just how I do it. Now, sweet friends, the next song that I shall sing is one that I wrote with the help of a fairy friend, because on the subject of drinks, well, there are some who do not know the sure and present danger of allowing the fae folk intoxicating substances. So this is a bit of a public service announcement, so we all can make informed choices. This is a fairy drinking song. Oh, fairies flit and fairies fly, but fairies never should imbibe. Although a drunken fairy is quite a sight to see. Fairies dance and fairies soar, but they should not drink anymore, because a drunken fairy is something you should flee. Oh, the fairy of the earth was here, thought she'd sit and have a beer, thought it couldn't hurt to have a pint. It wasn't long until we found volcanoes erupting from the ground, until she sat erupting through the night. Oh, fairies flit and fairies fly, but fairies never should imbibe. Although a drunken fairy is quite a sight to see. Fairies dance and fairies soar, but they should not drink it anymore, because a drunken fairy is something you should flee. Oh, then the fairy of the sky, oh, as she was flying by, thought that she would stop down in the pub. A hurricane tore through the town, and wind and rain came crashing down, until she finally crashed down in the tub. Oh, fairies flit and fairies fly, but fairies never should imbibe. Although a drunken fairy is quite a sight to see. Fairies dance and fairies soar, but they should not drink anymore, because a drunken fairy is something you should flee. Oh, then the fairy of the sea got into some whiskey. We think she had a thimbleful at least. We didn't notice much commotion in this section of the ocean. Then there were those tsunamis in the east. Oh, fairies flit and fairies fly, but fairies never should imbibe. Although a drunken fairy is quite a sight to see. Fairies dance and fairies soar, but they should not drink anymore, because a drunken fairy is something you should flee. Oh, then there was the fairy queen. Thought a drink would be very keen. So she sat herself down with some rum. Later on at end of night, she screamed, "Who dare turn on the light?" And with a blink she cursed away the sun. Oh, fairies flit and fairies fly, but fairies never should imbibe. Although a drunken fairy is quite a sight to see. Fairies dance and fairies soar, but they should not drink anymore, because a drunken fairy is something you should flee. Because a drunken fairy is something you should flee. False alarm. And now you know. Now, the next song I shall play on the subject of sprightly and bringing us back up out of the all those depressing Irish songs, we're going to have a song written by another friend of mine. This is a courting song. One morning in the green country, a young man the heart you've stolen from me. My lady, I have labored long to bring these gifts and a courting song. I pray you will but look upon a poor man such as I. Said she, I shall grow old one day, my golden hair shall turn to gray. What use be jewels on the day when none shall look upon me? The strongest horse he'll find someday, its legs are weak, its back is swayed. A rose too quickly fades away, what good will these have done me? My lady, I have labored long to bring these gifts and a courting song. I pray you will but look upon a poor man such as I. Said he should lose thy golden hair, thy spirit shall shine e'er more fair. I will devote me to thy care and hold thy life above me. The horse too old to pull the plow can carry thine old bones to town. I'll plant a rose bush in the ground, and ever shall I love thee. My lady, I have labored long to bring these gifts and a courting song. I pray you will but look upon a poor man such as I. She waited there on bended knee and tried to do it gracefully. Would she now persuaded be or turn away cold-hearted? She ran and kissed him on the cheek. He spread his gifts before her feet. Never was a love so sweet, so passionately started. My lady, I have labored long to bring these gifts and a courting song. I pray you will but look upon a poor man such as I. Said she, my love, I've waited long to find a man worth his courting song. And now 'tis you I'll look upon until the day I die. Yes, now 'tis you I look upon until the day I die. Until the day I die. Sweet friends, and now if you'd like to hear that song again, it is A Courting Song by Joni Minstrel, the original village protest singer. Now, my sweet friends, that brings us to time for my last offering for you today. Dearest friends, I know I speak on behalf of all of us artists and everyone who's put together this show for all of us to participate in and to enjoy, that we wouldn't be able to do this without you. So thank you ever so kindly for giving us your attention and for sparing what you can to help keep the art flowing. Now, I believe there are links that are being displayed for you if you'd like to toss a coin to your bard, or if you'd like to know where to listen to more of my music, or if you'd like to be involved in my journey and join in my Patreon page. So, my sweet friends, anything that you can do to keep the arts flowing will be appreciated, up to including and surpassing simply watching and giving us your attention. My sweet friends, because I miss you all very much, I've chosen to sing one of the most nostalgic songs I know. This is Auld Lang Syne. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and the days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for the days of about the blaze and picked the daisies fine. But we've wandered many a weary foot since the days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet. For the days of old lang syne, and we too have paddled in the stream from morning sun till dine. But seas between us broad have roared since the days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet. For the days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, me trusty friend, and give us a hand of thine, and we'll take a right good will draft for the days of old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet. For the days of old lang syne. For should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind, should old acquaintance be forgot, and the days of old lang syne. Sweet friends, it has been my privilege. I am Lady Prudence, Her Majesty's court composer, and I very much hope we shall all meet again. Until then, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.
Well done. Thank you, Lady Prudence. Hey, and thanks to all of the musicians here today, Vince Conaway and the Reelin Rogues. It's great to be able to share music and a little madness. I think I've provided more on that side than the others. I'm getting the impression at this point that things are winding down, drawing to a close, so I'm going to try to squeeze in all of the important stuff here before we do go. Let's see. Well, Digital Ren Fair itself. Let's thank them, and let's push those hearts and thumbs up and other expressions of appreciation for what they do. And also to those of you who have already joined their Patreon, well done. And the rest of you, check it out. Give a thought. There are many ways to support the Digital Ren Fair and the performers that they help out. And one of those ways is to support the sponsors like Seasong Designs. So check out Mr. Bernard's wonderful stuff. She's been a great support of this episode. Now, as for me, I'm Dr. Cranius Lunch. I've introduced myself a few times, but I know some of you are just joining us. And so I'm just going to take a little moment here and recap a little bit of what I've done. Earlier on, I made a flute out of a carrot. That surprised many of you. But now you've had some time to process and you think, well, it's a cylindrical object and it's almost flute-like. That's not that surprising. I demonstrated, but I'm afraid I had a little snack. I call it pre-cycling. Before you do what you were going to do with something, you can do something else first. But there's more. I mean, this is not limited to carrots. For instance, nobody anticipates the broccoliaphone. And when you're playing music with your friends, always remember, keep the beat. There are many ways to present that. I'm giving this to you. This is a joke, folks. It works almost every time. Hey, look. I've got the beat. So, find the things that are around you that can entertain you in these times. That's very important. I hope I've given some inspiration in those directions. I'll leave it there, folks. This has been the Digital Ren Fair Musical Madness episode. I'm Dr. Cranius Launch. Tune in next week for whatever happens then. Cheers. I love you all.